All right, and we are live with hell of a show. I am looking over here, make sure everything's set up on my end. In the meantime, if you are in here watching, go ahead and let me know you can see and hear me. I certainly appreciate that. Talk to myself enough on a regular basis on during the day. I don't need to do it at nighttime as well. People might start getting a complex about me or something. But hope y'all have had a great day, been productive, had some fun out there, done what you love doing, and just keep going with it. We are about to do a special live show on here tonight. No, it is not Monday. You don't have to keep looking at your calendar and figuring out where you missed out on that one because it's not Monday and it's not my regular scheduled time either. We're doing something a little bit different because I have someone that's in the back right now that I'm going to be bringing out very shortly. They're going to be talking about a very recent launch that they did, and we're going to be talking about the launch that they have, the campaign, the product, the passion behind what they're doing, every bit of it. So we're going to be going through all of that as well. And let me go ahead and take care of this. Let me give me just a moment to go ahead and send this over as well. And again, in here and you're getting in your just getting in, getting settled in. Know if you can hear me. There's and increasing the voice indies starting off tonight because we got a great show planned out for you on this one. And let me see, we've got. All right, so we are set to go. Everything's in the green on here. Looks like we're ready to go. So thank y'all for being in here tonight watching the show. This is hell of a show. Normally on Mondays at 9 p.m. Central. I know I'm getting old and senile. I didn't miss the day. This is not me doing that. This is a special show that I'm doing tonight. So we're going to go ahead and bring my guest out here and start learning a little bit more about him, his projects, and some of the passion that he puts into his work that's out there. So let me introduce to you Isaac Fox.
Hello. Am I working okay?
Oh yeah, you're good. You're good. What's going on, Isaac? Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Phil. It's nice to be back. Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a nice Friday, ready for the weekend to be here.
Oh yes, absolutely. Now,
Warm
before
weather
we get
finally
started
upon
into
us.
everything and get into all the shenanigans and all the fun stuff that normally comes up with all this, go ahead and let everybody know, who you are, what you do, where to find you.
Well, my name is Isaac Fox. I am the lead writer and president of the Astral Ticket Comic Corporation. We are responsible for the most backed and most funded single issue comics in the Kickstarter history of the largest city in the continental United States. We currently have a campaign going for two books together at the same time. Pure Intent #2, the darkest comic we've ever told, and Mr. Suzumi's Adult Lessons, which is the lewdest comic I will allow this company to put out. They are combined together. Mr. Suzumi is only about 12 pages, so we did not do it its own campaign, as I don't think that'd be fair to you guys to do a campaign for a book of that size. Pure Intent #2 is a full-size comic book, standard amount of pages. Actually, I think it's a little bit more than 22. So you can get both of those right now. And the best part about that is our current campaign, we have, because Year of the Rabbit, and we have two rabbit mascots, we are doing a bunny sale for Year of the Rabbit, meaning you can get items on this campaign cheaper than they'll ever be available again.
That that's a lot right there to let you know exactly what's going on with the company and that you've been busy doing some things and some great accolades you got on there. We're going
Thank
to be
you.
talking a lot about some of the stuff that's going on with this one, of course, but we're going to be talking about what led you up to this point as well. We've actually had you on as a guest. It's been a few months since we had you on,
Yep,
and
just
by
like
a few
best
months,
number two.
yeah, exactly. And I want to say it was a great time having you on there on Positive Influence and being able to go ahead and have the
Thank you.
pre-recorded setup on there. Now we're doing this live and going to have you on here and get some idea on exactly what drives your passion and what you do. That's what I love doing on these shows, and I definitely had to have you on here because you have a lot of passion behind what you're doing on these.
Nothing else to what I'd rather do.
Absolutely. Now let me see. I'm setting up the screen over here as we're talking. You've been doing this. How long in the comics? How long have you been producing them and doing them?
A long time. It feels like it feels like a long time, but I still feel like I'm just a newbie at it. I think we've been doing Kickstarters for about 5 or so years. Uh, it's hard to say exactly because we started on there, and I just wanted to tell Cremisi, which was my passion project. I wanted to tell that story. And then it turned out that I really enjoyed this entire thing of making comics and distributing them and working with people and trying to do some kind of level of good in the world. And from there, we took about a year off from any Kickstarter like that. We're still in production for items, But we took about a year from the campaign trail and just kind of sat down for a while and looked at it and said, okay, I need to redo how I'm doing things. I took some lessons from guys like Brian Polito, uh, and some people who are massively smarter than I am in every way. I was like, well, okay, let's start doing that. And then I turned what was a hobby into my business, and I'm very fortunate that this happens to be a business that I absolutely love. And I love getting these comics in people's hands. I love seeing people have a good time. I like it's great when I'm at a convention, people just light up when they open up a book, and I hope I can bring more of that to pretty much anybody who has good taste.
There you go. There you go. Now we've got a comment out here that I want to bring up real quick. Watching us from YouTube, and thank you for doing that, John Doe. Since this is as lewd as you're willing to let your company go and is only 12 pages, will it be a standalone or will you be getting more of that content? Now, this is something we'll definitely be answering as we go through this as well, because we're going to delve into exactly what the book is about. I mean, without giving spoilers, of course.
Right.
And then kind of letting you know what you're getting your hands onto, because it's not exactly what you're expecting. I'm just going to put that out there right now, and we will be talking about that. So stick around for that one.
We'll call me, we'll call me.
Exactly. So you've been doing this, for a while. You've been trying to fine tune it, get it to where it's moving, a little bit differently for you.
Yes, sir.
Recently made this to where this is your full-time thing right now. This is where you put all of your focus
Yep.
is into this side of the business and doing all this business like this.
This is my life.
Yeah, exactly. So what was something that was going through your head that led to the actual jumping from the other job to where this is going to be your primary, saying, this is what I can do, but this is what I want to do. This is what I need to do. What was kind of the emotions that were going through you on that?
Oh, that's easy. Mostly it was hatred. So I've always had a problem with authority, and I've run to the problem where in college I had this issue, and I haven't had it as an adult, that I learned that the people who are in management positions often aren't qualified to spell the word, let alone do the job. And I was very tired of how companies treat people, especially in our country, where you're just kind of a wage slave and you're really just told to, shut up and do the labor and treated very poorly. That was my experience with every job I've ever had. I've worked in retail, I've worked in teaching, I have worked in copywriting and technical writing and IT, and it was always the same thing. I didn't like that very much.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always believed that be the change you want to see in the world. So, okay, well, if I want things to change, I either have two options. I can become a politician, or I can do things myself. Well, option A would probably get me shot.
Yeah.
So I decided to go with option B. Anybody that ever said we should all get along didn't last very long. So I'm not going to do. So I'm saying that, but I'm not on that level where anyone's going to care that I say that. So I decided I wanted to do this, and I started making the comics, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was great. And then it was as I got lucky, and I get the question like, how can I do what I do from people? And my answer is always the same. Please don't use me as a case study or an example, because I'm a terrible one for that. I promise you, I got entirely lucky that I just so happened to live in a place where I just so happened to meet someone who just so happened to get a job working for one of the top 3 comic artists and creators on this planet. And I can't say their names, but through them, I met people who are regular guests at Comic-Con, who Marvel and DC fight to get. And I learned so much from them. And that was when my campaigns went from like 4,000 to 7,000 a run to 20,000 to 30,000 a run, because I learned from these people. And I just completely got lucky. And I felt like, well, I'm getting to that point now where I can do this. I don't need to go into this place and take orders that don't make any sense. I don't need to go someplace where I'm talked down to every day. And I have, as far as I have cats, I talk down to me all the time. But I could do things the way I think was right. Yes. And that's what I've been fortunate enough to do now. I can take care of my artists. I can make sure they're okay. I treat them with respect to make sure they get everything they want for that reason. And I can still go there and look at our feedback from our backers and requests from backers and just do what I can to help them out and try to do some level of good in this world. Because if I'm not doing something good, why am I even here?
Exactly. I mean, and that is perfectly put on that, because that definitely, that statement right there shows that you put your passion ahead of everything else to do what you're doing. This is not you want to be a bigger name than anybody else. It's that you want to have these books in everybody's hands that possibly could want them and get something out of them as well. And that's kind of what we're going to kind of start talking about now is go ahead and let us know what is the premise behind Pure Intent. I don't want to say anything out of line on my end, and you go, you can't say that, cut that off. I'll leave it in
No, no,
your
you're
hands.
good.
So I'll let you go ahead and give us the premise on there, so you can give as much of a taste of it as you want to on there, and then we'll discuss that a little bit, and then we're going to be talking about the adult lessons book as well.
Sure. Well, Pure Intent number two takes place about 3 seconds after Pure Intent number one. And what that story does, it takes place in the Cremisi universe, same one as my passion project. But Pure Intent tells the tale of a young boy who has been enslaved by a pirate clan. What these space pirates do, the way they make their money, is they have a bunch of enslaved children. They make fight to the death in an arena, and they make money off the gambling for it. And of course, oftentimes they rig the fight so that the house always wins, as is common with gambling. So they do this, and this young boy Koru doesn't like that very much. Despite the horrible things he's put up against, he still believes that he can make the universe better. He can actually save people, and he's driven entirely by a selfless desire to save those around him. And issue number one, he gets an opportunity to finally break out. Issue two is now these kids going to escape from these pirates and what they have to go through to get out of it. The only problem is these are a bunch of unarmed, frightened children against a organization of professional hardened criminals. So despite their best efforts, they still get backed into a corner where Koru has to wonder if his pure intentions have just led everyone to their death. And that is when an event happens that will cause echoes and a massive effect in both Pure Intent's universe and Cremisi's universe. And I can't say what that is, but I can tell you, if you're familiar with the Cremisi series, and if you're not, check it out and then read Pure Intent 1 and 2,
Yes.
and you are going to have your eyes pop out of your head. Even I read it, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
I'm okay. I'm definitely looking forward to that, because I've already, been a part of Cremisi and of Pure Intent One on there.
Thank
So
you.
you've got my attention so far on this one. And while I'm talking to you and kind of asking some things, I'm going to go ahead and change up some things with the miracle of technology here, and go ahead and bring up. We're going to show some of the artwork on there as well while we're talking, because you
Thank
got
you.
to show the pretty. You got to show the sizzle on here while you're talking as well.
Yeah, that book's lead artist is Nila Nandita. She's one of my leads out of Indonesia. The colorist is Gentle Nelly, a colorist out of Lisbon, Portugal. They've done a pretty good job working together, getting this put together. I'm very happy with Nila as an artist. She's amazing. She's fantastic. Pure Intent number three is already like 25% done.
Wow.
She's just so fast and so amazing. She's actually the only one like I almost sometimes fear emails from, because she does like 10 pages at once in line art and sends it to me. Like, well, here goes my next 2 hours going through this and figuring out what needs to be changed and what's right. And she has such an intricate way of laying out her panels that it's easy to read.
Awesome.
And the longer I've been in this industry, the more I've learned that the ability to put panels on a page where the flow is natural, engaging, and motivating to read
Yes.
is a skill set all in of itself. And just because you can draw doesn't mean you can do that. I know I could never do it. And she understands that really well, to the point where she'll even tell me, look, you can combine these panels that you're talking about and we can make it more dynamic. Like, oh, hey, you're right. Cool. Because I like it when my people tell me, give me suggestions. I don't want a bunch of yes men, because I have bad ideas sometimes. Everybody does.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
It's something that if you have the idea in your head and then getting that to paper through someone else, because you're not actually drawing it, getting your idea out there is one thing, but having the artist go ahead and look at it going, I can actually change this, maybe where it can give a little more impact to what you're trying to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're looking for? And that's
absolutely.
Going, awesome. That's out of my head into your hands. That's perfect.
The best example I can use for that, and whether that story is true, I don't 100% know, but I know that if you're a fan of Dragon Ball Z, it was recently Mr. Toriyama's birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Toriyama. Mm-hmm. That a lot of the sagas that seem like they drag on longer is because his editor would tell him his ideas were dumb, so he had to change them. It's like, and they turned out really well. And there is value in having people that you understand that they can call you on your BS and your bad ideas and go, you know what? Don't get defensive. Think about it. They might be onto something. Absolutely. So I'm really happy that I have that people that will tell me, like, hey, I think you could change this, or maybe this is dumb. Not saying that all my ideas are dumb. I'm sure I have some bad ones sometimes, but I'm always thankful that they can check me on that. Nila's good at that. So somebody can change this or change this. And she's done a great job with this book. And what I feel bad almost for Nila, because she is one of the best at drawing innocence and cuteness and making things just feel welcoming and warm and natural. And I have her on two of the most darkest, violent books I've ever done. I'm like, I am so sorry. This is the opposite of what you you kind of like to do, but she's handled it so well, especially in a story where the main characters are mostly children. It just feels like that psychological scarring and mental corruption is creeping in at just the right pace. And as someone who's comes from a similar background of such events, it feels just natural how she drew it, and I'm so happy with the way it looks. That being said,
And
it
you can
is fun
definitely
working
tell.
with
I
an
mean,
artist. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh no, you're good. You're good.
It can be interesting sometimes working with an artist whose country doesn't have firearms, which is understandable, but having them draw them like, wait, that doesn't do that. Having to sit down and then show them like, wait, a gun doesn't work this way.
Right.
And it's something that I don't hold against anybody, but if you don't ever been around them, you'd never know. Because you just watch it on movies, and movies and TV depict things horribly inaccurately. I think comics, we have the luxury of being able to be a bit more believable than movies and TV, while still being fun without pushing reality too far. Because you don't want to go too deep into reality rules in a fantasy story, because then it becomes annoying.
Mm-hmm. And it does. I mean, it gets into, you can see some of the darker side in page 4 on this, and how deep it goes into, finality of things happening on these pages. And it kind of, it's not meant to be in your face gore, that kind of thing. It's more of a, you now have, you've invested in these characters. You're reading through and you're invested. You're connected to them in some way, form, or fashion. So whenever something happens to them, you care enough to go ahead and turn those pages and keep going through. So this story is actually one that is gripping enough to go ahead and make it where it's like, okay, I'm not only reading something, I'm actually a part of the story. I want to help make it better at the end.
Yes,
That's
we
the way
try
I
to
look.
make our comics an experience, not just a passive reading. We want you guys to feel invested in it. I want you to have characters you feel like you can relate to, and you can move through. If I could, we have a comment I want to answer really quick. Succubusted stories. Succubusted is a canonical story altogether. It does not. It's not a Monster of the Week story. It is following the first arc that we're on right now. We have decided there will be a second one. It's been popular enough; people like it, so we're going to do another one. But it does follow Rita and Liam together, going through their first story together. And you will see issue 3 this year, and issue 4 is next year. So it's not a Monster of the Week. It all tells one coherent story put together. And as far as book 2 goes, I don't have that on the website or anywhere else yet because issue number 2 is still shipping. That was about 700 individually customized packages, which is myself and now Benedita, our new shipping manager, packing them together, which even with 2 people, this takes a long time to do. I have about 200-ish left. I'll do more today, I'll do more tomorrow, and I'll keep doing it until it's done. But because of that, I don't make books available until the backers get them first, because I think if you put your faith in me, this Kickstarter straight up tells you that you're not guaranteed to get your stuff from anybody. Right. Now, luckily, we are listed as a backer favorite because we've always lived on our promises, and I always will. But I understand that there's always that level of trust. Like, I'm trusting this person to not just take my money and run, because it does happen. So the backers always get everything first. So once that last package for that last backer ships out, then I'll put Succubus number 2 on the website, publicly available. That being said, you can get Succubus number 2 in a physical form. I don't think there's a digital one on here on this campaign as an add-on.
Yes.
Because by the time that fulfillment comes around, I'll have already fulfilled Succubus number 2's backers, so we can then offer it easily. So you guys can still get it, no problem.
Yes, and he went ahead to say that yes, he was one as well. So yeah, he's on that campaign as well and waiting for that one. So that'd be your best bet, is to go ahead and do it as an add-on to make sure that you get it off of this campaign here, because you don't want to miss out on that. And if you're a fan, like it looks like you've been paying attention as well, this series, I mean, not only this series but any series that comes on here that he does, has got more. It's a gripping storyline. It's awesome art that's in there. Sometimes the art is a little more, shall we say, bouncy than some of the other ones. And then sometimes it goes into more of a, we're trying to tell an actual story, an actual lesson or something to coming across here. And that's the perfect segue to go ahead and start talking about the other one that I wanted on here, which is the Mrs. Zoom.
One quick if you don't mind. Sorry. I want to address this question really quick if it's okay.
Yes, go ahead.
So if you were a backer on Succubus 2, that link was sent out about 7 months ago. And we don't keep those links active because I don't want them stolen. They are Brooke is ordered to take those down 2 weeks after they're sent out. If you did not get that link to the PDFs of the downloads for that, please message us on Kickstarter, and Brooke will help get that for you. Like I said, it's been about 6-7 months since then. Usually those PDFs go out once funds are collected. Once we get the funds, when we verify that everybody's paid for the service, those links go out. They're up for 2 weeks, and they go down. So please message us on Kickstarter, Astral Ticket on Kickstarter. Brooke will handle that, and she'll make sure you get it. Because we every time we get somebody who comes in, we get people who come in campaigns like 3 years ago and say, "Hey, I didn't get this, or I lost this somehow." We'll take care of it. You just gotta know. You gotta talk to us.
Yes.
If we get messages saying, "Hey, I never got my download link," I won't call anybody out, but I did get one, and Brooke showed it to me. Then we got to say, "I never got my download link," in the message. Now, Kickstarter shows you your message history with every person you talk to. The message above his has the message with the download links to it. I'm like, it's right there, man. We did send you the link. It's physical. I sent you a screenshot. Like, look, it's right here. I had to put the link back up for you now because it's been like 2 years, but it was there. We didn't lie to you. That being said, Kickstarter does appear to be having some messaging issues. It's not just me. Some other creators have told me they had this, where we aren't getting notified we're receiving messages, and we also aren't seeing them. We have to enter. We had some backers with some questions on this campaign, and Brooke and I had to sit down and do like 3 or 4 different sets of filters before those messages showed up.
Yes.
So I don't know what Kickstarter's problem is right now. They appear to be having some kind of technical difficulty.
Yes.
So
Well, they just went through a major. They went through a major update. I think like 2 months ago, and they started having issues right then. And they're still trying to go back and get all those bugs out of there. But it seems like the more bugs they try to get out of there, they keep finding other things that are issues with it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's called me a liar like that. I don't take any offense. We're good. It's just I felt bad because we had people comment on things in this campaign, and we said, "Well, send us a message." And they go, "I did." You did. Oh my gosh, we have to sort through this like 3 different times before the message shows up. How many people are we missing? No, we want to help people. If you want things, we'll work with you. If there's a tier, something you're looking for, I'm sorry, we'll see what we can do. Yeah, exactly. I'm not getting Kickstarter's emails anymore either. I don't know why. I'm not getting updates on our email accounts when anything happens. I don't know what. Yeah. Again, they must be having technical difficulty. Send them a message about it. I've yet to hear a response.
Yes.
Their customer service can be a little slow. No offense to those guys. They do a good job. They're a little slow. So hopefully they get that fixed out. So if anybody who I may have missed a message from so far, I am deeply, deeply sorry. If it's urgent, hop into our Discord. You can talk to Azumi directly in there, and she also handles customer service and help.
Yes.
Absolutely. I don't do much of it myself anymore, thankfully, because I'm a jerk. You don't want to talk to me.
But the main thing is you already touched on it, that it takes communication, and you're open to the communication on there to at least go, okay, if you didn't have it before, then I'll tell you exactly how you go about getting that. Or it's
I want you to have it.
I'll give you the link. Exactly. You're like, it's not like you lost your time. It's sorry, but
no. If you paid me money, hell or high water, by the gods, you're getting it. You paid me money. And if there's my number one, this is gonna sound selfish. My number one rule in life is don't screw with my money.
Yes.
I will never screw with yours, because that stuff is hard to come by. And I realize that worship of money is bad, and I agree it's bad. But the reality of it is, we all need it to pay for our food, our water, our heat, our children. We need that. And I will never take that off your hands without making sure you're getting something you're satisfied with in return, ever.
Yes.
Sorry to get so serious for a moment, but I hate when people like screw backers over. It's like, you're hurting all of us, man. If I find you, I will break your legs. Do not hurt the backers.
But they give it a bad name for other creators that are out there, whether they be, you've already been, had the foundation of doing this for a while, or new creators who are coming out. It's all of a sudden they've already got that stigma, and they have to come out of it somehow, some way, and they haven't even done anything wrong yet. So,
a
sometimes
good friend of mine is
that way.
One of my editors is a musician. He makes music for video games, and he's had people that have made like 30, 50, 60K on Kickstarter, and decide, I don't like doing it anymore, and keep the money. I'm like, okay, I help somebody break your legs because you just took a lot of people's money for doing nothing. One thing, I know I mentioned his name. I have massive respect for Brian Polito, because he had a campaign he did for Lady Death, and the books came in damaged. He made like $1 million in that campaign.
Yes.
And he refunded every single person because the books that came in were not up to his standard. And the print shop agreed they were not up to quality standard. Not only refunded that much money, bro.
And I'll give you one other one too. Not only did he refund us, because I was part of that as well, but I also got my book later on along
Yeah, he
with
only
the
did it again.
I'm Sorry book. It was a book that was only to those of us that it messed up on. And it was like, I want to say it was short. It was like, 12, 16 pages, something like that. But it was a lady death with the same style of artwork and everything. But it was the whole thing about, apologizing and saying, we really want you to stay within our universe. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. You actually
Yeah.
go to that level. It's $1 million campaign. You understand how this happens.
That's why I say, like, that's I mean, we all want to be the king of this. We all do, king or queen or whatever, suits your fancy. But he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect that because he does things like that. I didn't know I didn't know about the apology book. That's amazing. The closest I can even say to that is, and I'm sure somebody's going to bring up eventually, we had an artist who lied to me and my company that he was making the art. He was stealing it and modifying it. And he knew how to modify it just enough where no
Mm-hmm.
search algorithm could figure it out.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. When I found out about this, within 2 hours, every backer, every fan knew about it. I told them, I showed which covers he did. And the covers on that campaign, I told him, hey, if you feel slighted by this, because I did not know. Had I known, I wouldn't have done this. In fact, I've written to his school and I'm trying to get him expelled from his college. He's not in the U.S., so my power is a little limited. But if I can get him kicked out of his school, I will. If he was in the U.S., I'd just broken his damn legs. But I'd made sure his hands never worked again. But I told him, like, hey, if you feel slighted by this, message me. I will still give you it because I can't. It's already in production. I can't stop it. I'll still give you the book, but I will refund you for this because I refuse to sell stolen art. And when that happened, the artwork that I have that's also from him, I have told everyone I am giving those books away. So I take them to conventions now, and if you buy a book, I give it to you. I say, hey, this is a reader's copy. It's got a big red X over the cover, but enjoy it, man. Read it.
Exactly.
You already bought something here, take it, because I don't want this crap in my studio ever again. All of
And
my
John
art was
Doe,
done by real people, not artists, not bots, and not thieves.
exactly. And John Doe wants to let you know he got your message, and for that, thank you for what you did. And it's great that you're an honest man. That right
I couldn't
there
sleep
is
if I
enough.
didn't do that, man.
Well, I mean, and that fuels you enough to where you're like, okay, I'm going to keep doing this. We're going to keep going with this. And
That
as
was a
a back,
terrifying experience. It really was.
well, exactly. But as
I
a
was
backer,
like, is my career over? Is everybody going to be like turn on me for this? Because like, I didn't know. But is anyone going to believe I didn't know?
mm-hmm,
Because people all the time go, "Oh, I didn't know this was stolen," and they knew. And then finally
yep,
they knew about it, but I didn't know. And the reason I found this guy is I just so happened to be on Facebook and saw somebody posted a art piece. It looked just like this cover. And went,
yeah.
so then when I sent it to this artist saying, "Hey, can you explain this?" Within about 5 minutes, every single one of his online presences were taken down and disappeared. He
Ooh,
knew. He knew what he was doing.
oof.
So I've
That,
already got that. I filed a claim with Western Union. I want him destroyed. Like, you can't do this
yeah.
to my customers.
Well, I mean, again, with this message here shows that you've got a backer out there that appreciates the fact that you have the communication, that you want to make everything right, that you make sure that we get, the
I'm not here to
products
lie to
released
you.
and everything. So, I mean, you've got one right there that's willing to go ahead and follow you with it, whatever
Thank
you're
you
doing with
so
this
much.
project as well. And we've got a few more people that have shown up in here. So we've got, is that Dr. Till, ministry dude? Appreciate you being here. And hello to yourself as well. Welcome to Hell of a Show. And we've got, I love pronouncing some of these. Inchler, what anime are y'all talking about? So this is not actually anime. This is actually about the campaign that we're bringing up about Pure Intent #2 and Misuzumi's Adult Lessons, and we're talking about that. And
Which
then
are
we've
anime
also got,
inspired.
what's that?
Most of my inspiration does come from the anime and manga universe.
Oh yes.
So part of what I hope to do, I realize this is probably a pipe dream, and I'm probably gonna get laughed at for saying it. That's fine. Is I kind of hope that in making comic books like this, we can try to swing things back towards comics winning again in the market in America versus manga. Because I love manga. Don't get me wrong. I love manga. I love anime. But I also love Superman. And I like Batman. And I like Spider-Man. And I love the X-Men. I don't want to see them lose here on the home front. So hopefully we can help swing things a little bit more to bring that back. Which is not putting anybody down for liking that stuff. That's cool, man. That's great.
No, not at all. Not at all. Stevie J says, I like anime. Absolutely. And then
Same here.
I got to bring this one up because campaign, what office are you guys running for? Trust me, you don't want either one of us in any kind of office, except for the offices we're sitting in right now.
No, probably not.
But we're talking about the Kickstarter campaign that's on here,
Yes.
and it's for Pure Intent #2 and Miss Azumi's Adult Lessons, which we're going to talk about right now.
Everybody struggles to say that one, and I never thought about it.
I don't
I've
know
had a
why.
couple of people like who just can't say the name at all. I'm like, is it hard to say? I never thought about it because you never want to make a book title that's hard to say like I do with Cremisi. You don't want to do that. You want something easy to say. Spider-Man, easy to say. Batman, a 3-year-old can say Batman. Great.
Mm-hmm.
But Mistress Azumi's Adult Lessons appears to be a tongue twister, and I guess I just didn't think, neither Azumi nor myself thought about it. I should point out, she also is the co-writer of that book. I did not write it entirely myself. She had been begging for a while to be able to work on a book and do something. I said, okay, well, we can do that. And she's like, well, how lewd can I go? And I was like, well, my rule is no penetration. So pretty much anything within that caliber, we're okay. So nothing can be inserted into anybody. You can imply it's about to happen, but we can't actually have anybody get fused into the couch.
Yep. Yosemite asked, Demon Phil, are you Brian Redban's dad? Not that I'm aware of, no.
I'm aware
of. So we've got, let me see, we've got all kinds of people jumping in. Let's see. My friend told me Superman is a racist power fantasy, so I like Manga Banner. Okay, so
read All Star Superman. Just read that book, man. It's amazing.
It's you can't really base it off of what you've heard. I'm gonna say that right now. You can't go off of I've heard a rumor, I heard of this, that, and the other. Even reviews sometimes. Everybody has an opinion, and that's fine. But whenever it says something along those lines, all I got to tell you is Superman is one of the longest running comics of all time. There's a reason for that, because back whenever we understood values and morals a lot heavier than have been kind of going through today's time and everything, Superman was one of the #1 ones that was out there because it gave us hope. And that's what we need now more than anything is something that gives us hope. And that's why comics are here. They are a way for us to transcend out of today's world and go into the book for a little while, live in some other universe, time zone, whatever time period, whatever, and be able to be a part of that and get away from everything else that's out here. So that's what it's there for. So look at it this way, that if there's something out there that gives you hope and you enjoy it, then how can it be bad?
Something I would say in combination with that is I'm a huge Superman fan. Just straight up, I'll say I love Superman. When he's written well, it's about the man, not the super. And there are things in his books that have made me cry because he portrays someone to do just acts of goodness that don't necessarily reflect on his powers. Just him choosing to do the right thing, and no matter how much adversity he runs into in the process. And that's one reason why I've always liked him.
Yeah, there's there's a lot of things that go along with it. And if you start reading between the lines, whenever the lines have been drawn for so long, and then you just expand those lines, you're going to find something that you're not going to like, or something in there. That's what I'm saying. It was much simpler time back in the day whenever it was made, and it was just like, the world needs hope. We're going to go ahead and throw a symbol onto a chest, and all of a sudden, everybody started acting better with each other and with everything that was going on and everything. And all it took was a symbol on a chest and a comic being out there. Why can't that happen again? I mean, that's just kind of my soapbox on that one.
Oh yeah. But at the end of the day, just consume what makes you happy. Life is short, man. We don't have time to sit here and just focus on negative, unhappy things. We don't look at that at all. Just if you like what you like, enjoy it. Because at the end of the day, do you want to be remembered as a guy who just was always spouting vitriol and hate, or do you want to be remembered as somebody people really liked and thought you were an inspiration to them? That's all I try to do. It's like I don't make any major decisions that change power in the world. I just want to make you guys happy with some fun comics. If that fun comic is a dark story or a tale of somebody overcoming PTSD, or it's just sexy demon asses in the air, cool. Glad I can do it for you. And I hope to keep doing it.
Exactly. So we're going to talk about with Miss Azumi's Adult Lessons on here, because it is not what you think. It is not, what where the brain goes to automatically on there. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on the screen very quickly on here. And go ahead and let us know, what exactly is this about? I mean, what is the premise behind this 12-page book that you've got available on here?
Well, it's called Adult Lessons, yes. And the book is definitely not for anyone under the age of 18. But the adult lessons are things that adults need to learn how to do. And what I've learned in my time as an adult, physically at least, mentally I don't know, but is that there's a lot of things that people my age and younger, don't seem to know how to do, that at a point in our history was considered standard things for everyone to know how to do. Uh, One of them's cooking. I don't know. I'm the only person I know who can actually cook. Nobody knows how to cook. Guys, everyone should know how to make a basic meal for themselves. I don't care what between your legs or what you are. Like money, like you should know how to cook yourself. At least know how to make a basic pasta. Like it's simple. Come on, guys. So what adult lessons is designed to do is it is teaching some adult lessons that adults should learn, but it's taught through the lens of a lascivious fox girl and her very naughty friends. So what this book teaches actually is just a very basic advice on simple budgeting,
Hmm.
and it goes through some very insane ideas to do that. The item in the book that she pretends that she's showing you how to save up to budget for is a body pillow with an on-a-hole insert and dildo attachment. This item does not exist, and it's meant to be over the top and as insane as possible so that it's clear that, hey guys, this is not real. But if there's something out there you want to get, here's some ways you could possibly do that. And some of those things involve like, well, why don't I just buy it on credit and worry about it later? No, do not do that. You are digging yourself a hole. In fact, I can tell you the line from the comic literally says buying things on credit is like having sex before you put on the condom. You had fun, but now you're totally fucked. Don't do that. It's just little, and that's all the book is. And if you read it and you just enjoy the vastly erotic antics of the characters, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you enjoyed that. But maybe if for the one or two out there who's able to pull out some information and be like, hey, maybe I should try this, and it helps them, I'm so glad I can help you out. If I can help somebody, I will take it. And yes, Azumi is in fact a fox girl. That is her there. She is my personal mascot. She looks similar to that in real life, minus the ears and tail at times. And that is, she is the star of the book, and she'll be the star of the next one we're going to do. So you can see, you're going to see more of these. We wanted to see if people liked this shorter format, a shorter like highly naughty format like this. It's been very popular, so we're going to check it out. What is the question here? I'm trying to read the comments.
That's what I'm trying
I
to
don't
figure out.
have anything that teaches how to draw. I'm
Yeah.
not an artist. I'm a writer and creator and everything, manager, shipping receipt. I'm everything but the artist. I'm sure there's plenty of people online on YouTube, especially, that will teach you how to draw anything you want for absolutely free. But this book won't teach you drawing skills unless you want to use it as a reference, which a lot of artists will do that. No artists who will buy other people's. I know it amazed me when I heard being pro comic artists, and they told me they didn't read comics. What do you mean? They didn't have time, but they would buy each other's art books and learn from each other. And I think that's a great thing to do. I'll read other people's comics. Like, wow, this guy's got a great way of telling a story. I can't ever flip through a Brian K. Vaughan or Paul Dini book without going, oh my God, these guys are amazing. I really need to step my game up.
Oh yeah. But I mean, it's a cool idea to have where you can actually, give the lessons on there and everything, but also have some good art as well going along with it to make it more of a page turner on there, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's an interesting way of getting that to go through with that. Let's see. Well, we got all
The
kinds of
lesson is just budgeting. It's
yes,
nothing else. Just a basic idea for budgeting.
yes. So I mean, you've got a cool campaign you're working on over there.
Thank you.
It's got Pure Intent 2. It's got Miss Azumi's adult lessons. See, I didn't trip over that one. Um, it's got a lot of fun things that are on there, and you've already funded. I mean, you popped this
Yes.
thing out. It was let me see, Tuesday of this week, I believe.
Yes, sir. We always launch on Tuesdays.
Yes. And so you went ahead and launched it out there. You've already, funded on there, which is awesome. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
And you're into stretch goal territory on here. What are you looking at as far as stretch goals that are going to be available here pretty soon?
I have to look at it. So again, this is most like I have to go look at it personally because when we have so much going on, I kind of get mixed up. So I have to go back and look at my own notes. Even if I am going to go do, if I'm even doing like new stories, I have to go back and read the older books. Like I got to make sure I have everything right. So for stretch goals, right now we do have one naughty art print of Benedita. She is our newest shipping manager. She is also a very buff bunny girl. She is a literal gym bunny, um, which makes sense. Who else do you want handling your package if not a buff bunny girl? So she's
Mm-hmm.
handling that. We also have already unlocked a fully animated flashing GIF of Azumi. And then we have right now, I think, yeah, we just today unlocked a Astral, the first class icon pack. There will be Kickstarter and icons and Discord icons you guys can use. I didn't really
Mm-hmm.
have the ability to show those off here because of the format of Kickstarter, but those will be digital items sent to every single backer, digital and physical alike, when the campaign is over. Next one up is going to be, we have another cover for Mr. Suzumi that features Benedetta and Suzumi together. It is beyond ultra kinky. It is very much in there. Very excited to show that one off when we get a chance. I'm sure we'll hit the 16,500 required to get it. That is one of 2 more covers that are coming from Mr. Suzumi. We also did a thing. A lot of the things I do is I want people who back our books to be happy. So what I do sometimes is I run polls and ask them questions. Hey, what would you guys like to see? What are some things you guys would be interested in? So what we did is we went through that and we talked with our backers about what's a cosplay you'd like to see Azumi in. Well, they chose a character from Genshin Impact. So what we will be doing is there's a very naughty cover of that will be coming out probably about middle of the campaign. It will be available when that's ready. The artist is working on it now. So excited to see that. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And, well, Azumi has approved anything on that book herself because it's her book. She got to work on it. She's really excited for it. So I let her make the call on that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She chose some things for this cover that would not have been things I would have chosen because it's a little more risque than perhaps I would want to do. But if that's what she likes, she asked for it, so I can't really say no. I can't say no to my customer, my customer service manager.
No, I mean it's cool. I mean you've been working on this and dealing with the the passion project on getting this out there. Crimson was your first one that was out there. You're moving into Pure Intent 1 and 2. You've got Mrs. Umi's adult lessons on there. What's something that's next on your list? Something that's in the future that you really want to get out there to get something new that you're looking at?
Oh, I can combine that with one of the comments I'm reading right now.
What's
That's
that?
a good question. So about the whole I hate this trope. I'm going to be straight up. I hate this trope of, hey, this character looks like they're 5 years old, but they're 200 years old, so duty's okay. No, I hate that. Even Rita, who's my youngest looking character, looks about 22 for a reason. Succubusted number 3, which will come out later this year, actively makes fun of that trope of, oh, I'm actually 6 years old. No, we don't do that here. No. So I will have fun. That's something I'm looking forward to, is able to kind of make fun of that a little bit and tease at it. Like, this is stupid. I'm not down with this. But that comes down to a difference in American versus Japanese entertainment, which I'm not qualified to speak on. I'm not an expert on any of that. Their rules are different than ours. That being said, any of my characters who are in any book that contains naughty content are a minimum of 22 years old. So as far as I'm looking forward to, we have on this campaign, there's a couple ways you can get it. You can buy it as an add-on for $4, only $4. And there's a couple of reward tiers that come with it. A preview of the Manticore, which is our latest story we're working on. And the Manticore, this core is CORPS, like the Marine Corps. It is a World War I high fantasy story where we have a squad of babes who are from various fantasy races. So in this war, everybody's been kind of on their, it's kind of almost, it's a World War I setting idea, but everyone's kind of been on their own against their chosen enemies you're an alliance, which aren't really helping each other. So what they decide to do is, well, what if we made a unit that's of people from across our alliance who are different than what our enemies are accustomed to facing now? So in this case, like, all right, well, goblins are always fighting elves, but they know how to fight an Oni. So this squad are a squad of babes and characters from across this alliance who are, I think, following D&D style rules. You have 2 damage dealers, a tank, and a healer. We have a dark elf archer, we have a human mage, we have an Oni as our tank, and we have a demi-human as our healer. And it follows their adventures. And the fun of that one is that I have intentionally not used any of my knowledge of the military and experiences with, so that the characters come off even more inept. Because the only reason they're ever going to win is because they do something that's so stupid, so against the rules, they either get lucky or it's just something dumb that works in their favor. They are not good at military service. They were barely qualified for it, let alone being in a special unit. And that's also an ecchi book like Succubusted, a lot of fan service, a lot of fun will be happening.
No, I mean, that sounds cool that you've got that on there and being able to work with that as well. And I mean, you're having a great product, that you're working with and getting some information out there. And again, doing what you love and being able to make this your primary job that's out there. That is awesome that you're able to go ahead and go in that direction with that.
Thank you.
is there something that you would go back if you were able to jump in the time machine and go back and give your younger self some advice whenever you first started doing this? What's the best piece of advice you would give yourself then?
There's a scene in Cremisi #1 I want redone entirely. I hate it, and it's like this was a product of me writing this when I didn't know how to write, and I was still learning. And I went to college. I got lessons in writing there, and then I got out in the real world, and I worked in technical writing and story writing and English teaching, and I learned a lot more about how to handle that. And it's this one scene that I thought was really cool back then. And as I'm older, I'm like, this just seems kind of dumb. You should have done this differently. So I don't think anybody's ever going to pick up on it because it's so minor. But as the person who created it, I'm looking at it like, why did you do this? Why are you so stupid? This should not have been done this way. That's what I would tell myself to fix. Like, change how you do this. Don't do that one scene this way. Change it. Again, it's very minute. It's so inconceivably small that no one's ever going to notice it, except me. Like, yeah, this seems kind of silly. You should change this.
And it could be something as small as something like that to go ahead and make changes on what you're dealing with in the future on that as well. And we want to go ahead and show. I've got a link here that I'm going to go ahead and bring up on here, and this is actually embedded in the feeds as well. Quick, easy to get to. Go straight over to the campaign, find out what's going on over there. Make sure you support it in any way you possibly can.
Thank you.
Remember, not everyone can financially back everything that's out there. Everybody completely understands that, but
That's why we have way marked down tiers, like just $5 for the digitals, because
exactly.
I want you guys to have it, but I don't want you to break your bank in the process. Please don't do that.
Exactly. And on top of that, it costs absolutely nothing to do shares out there and get these things shared out as well. And it triggers the
Yes.
algorithm even more by doing so. So make sure that you use the power of that finger and increase the voice of the indies by going ahead and getting more of this out there to more people and let them make the choice if they want to go ahead and grab a hold of this thing and see what's going on in the world of Astral Ticket and see what they've got available out here. Because it's not only the stuff that's on there right now with Pure Intent 2 and the uh, the lessons of Mrs. Zumi on there, but you've also see it still tripping me up a little bit. But you've also got your books from before, and in the past are all on there as well that you can have as add-ons, so that you can get fully involved in what y'all have been going on. Because you got some great work that's out there, and I think some people should really start paying attention to what you have out there and see
Thank you.
see what's going on and kind of keep an eye out for what you've got going on.
Well, we have 3 books coming out this year. This is our first run for the year. Next up is Cremisi #5, which is the first ever fully colored Cremisi and is the end of the first arc. So I am trying to plan more big things for that one because this is the end of the first full arc of that story. That issue is also the sexiest and the bloodiest issue in the entire story of Cremisi. So I'm really happy that's the first we ever got to do full color. That story was black, white, and crimson originally. Only color used was red, which was a result of me just not having the budget to afford a colorist when I first started. And now we have that. So we let our backers vote. Did you guys want to see an issue fully colored? Overwhelming majority said yes. So we did that for this book. And after that, we Sucky Busted #3. We might be able to do Foxy Vacations as a 2023 release. We have 2022's release, which is a naughty pinup series of all of our characters from across our universes. The 2023 one is like 99%, or the next issue is like 99% done. The problem
Mhm.
is finding the time to release it because it takes so long to do this stuff.
Yeah.
If I can say, like when I make a Kickstarter page, and I've had other creators try to hire me to make their campaign pages, which is amazing. But I'm like, dude, it takes me over a month to put
Yeah.
this together. Like it's a month of me going through numbers and making graphics. And Kickstarter always asks us as creators what we want to see. I did not know about the whole preview image thing they have now because that wasn't there when I finished making this campaign.
Hmm.
That came out like a week before launch of this campaign. What the hell
Yes.
is this? What is this option now?
Yep.
Oh God, I have to make more graphics now. What I wish they would do was make it where I can copy and paste my reward tiers into the add-on column and instead of
Yes.
having to go there and manually recreate every single reward tier so that backers can customize their packages however they want. Because you
Yep.
guys should be able to customize your experience and get the exact things you want in the bundle you want to have. But they kind of make that a little difficult.
Yeah, you got to make it a little bit difficult every once in a while to they'll learn eventually, but
I'm sure it's on their list. Yeah, I have no animosity towards Kickstarter. They've been very good to me.
Mhm.
I think part of the reason they're the most successful is because they are the nicest to the backers.
Mhm.
I think Indiegogo, I've seen what Indiegogo does. Indiegogo is very open and supportive to the creator,
Yes.
whereas Kickstarter is more backer oriented.
Yeah.
And then I understand the frustration we as creators have with that, but the reality of it is, at the end of the day, the backers are our lifeblood. So putting them as part number one is what we should all be doing, and it's what I will continue to do. And thank you for the comment on the full color. I appreciate
Yes.
that. I think
Yeah. I
you guys
saw
are going
that.
to love it. Krius is our colorist on that. He's also one of my lead artists. He's the chief colorist now for the whole company. He is amazing. He has worked with Danger Zone 1 and Midnight Productions on some of their stuff that definitely goes into the very erotic category. But I don't have him drawing that. On a funny note, I can tell you that he is British, and there are things between American English and British English that don't make sense to each other.
Right.
And he asked me on a piece long ago, he's going to get mad at me. He's like, so I put willies on this picture. And I'm like, what's a willy? What are you talking about? Oh, willy means penis. No, do not do that. No, do not do that on this piece, please. I did not know what that meant. But yeah, even in English, things can get lost in translation from one
Mhm.
country to another because our language is confusing. I know I taught it.
Well, I mean, you've got a great campaign that's going on right now and has
Thank you.
already gotten a huge launch onto here. 185 backers strong right now, as of what I'm looking at, unless that's changed just
No,
recently.
that seems to be where we're at right now,
Okay.
which is just
So,
amazing.
I mean, still got 26 days on this thing. So you still got plenty of time to get more people involved and get them interested in what's going on and see what Astral Ticket has available over there and get the word out and let other people know, what's going on over there so that they can get over there and make the choice themselves and figure out what they want to go ahead and get off of there as a tier, or at the very, very least to go ahead and share it out and make sure other people have a chance as well. I mean, you wouldn't believe how much it means to creators whenever you have shares out there for things that are going on, because like I said, not everybody can financially afford everything that's out there. That's Everybody understands that. But to be able to go
Exactly.
out
And
there
that's
and
why
see
we
shares done,
do sales.
exactly, that makes a huge difference in your campaign and what's going on, because the more you share it is one thing, but the more other people share it, it triggers the algorithm for one thing, and for another, it shows that they're putting their faith into what you're doing. They're putting their respect into what you're doing enough to go ahead and put it out there for other people to look at. That's huge right there.
Like you just said, something the sharing's huge, and trying not to price gouge people is a big one. I won't say his name, but they're probably the biggest artist I've worked with, who is famous for a series of his own creation about a scantily clad zombie girl. Had a whole thing that people were getting covers made by him on their Kickstarters and then just jacking that price as high as they could to just completely screw people over.
Hmm.
So I spoke to him. I was like, hey, what do you want me to charge for your covers? What do you feel is safe? And he was like, dude, thank you for asking me. This is what I charge for this. And that's what I was going to charge anyways. Cool, we're good. Because I
Yep.
don't want to price gouge anybody. Really, what I ask is, I think, cheaper than some of the other creators. Adding a backers page. I used to do that, and the reason I don't do that now is very simple. Because the books have gotten so much bigger and more elaborate that I need every single page I can possibly have to put
Yes.
story. For those who don't know this, and I didn't know this until I started doing this, comics are printed and the number of pages must be divisible by the number 4.
Yep.
So if I'm at like 21 pages and I have to put in, if I'm at 22 pages already for a standard issue, is 22 pages,
Hmm.
and a backer page, I would have to create 3 more pages to make up for that additional 4th, which in turn is going to raise the price of every book because now it costs more to make.
Hmm.
So that's why there's not backer pages anymore. Instead, there are many backers exclusives, including stretch goal items. I don't sell those after this. I might take them to conventions as freebies for those who buy something already, the
Hmm.
little extras I have. But like for the metal, like we have, I don't know if I have one on me right now. Actually, we did have one. I don't have it up here. Well, I do have this one though. Can I censor this enough? I guess yeah, that'll censor it. Like the Queen Basphira metal trading card I have right here, which is censored by my
Hmm.
finger for a very good reason. Hey,
Yeah.
Jason, how are you, man? Good to see you. That's never going anywhere ever again. That's only for the backers of that campaign are going to get that. We had one
Hmm.
of our cards when we did the Foxy Vacation 2022 of Azumi, is very tasteful. It was totally safe for work. The card was drawn by Mitsuharu Arita, who is the original Pokemon card artist and the one behind the most famous Charizard card that I ever got as a kid. Damn it! And that is only to those backers. Nobody else is getting that thing ever again. We're not going to put that back in production. So we do try to give the backers of each campaign something unique to say, hey, this was your time, man. This was for you. You were the person who showed up to support us. You stepped up on that day. You get this thing that nobody else gets.
Exactly. Well, I mean, we're kind of to the point. I'm going to start wrapping things up on this one, but I want you to go ahead and let people know what is different. What is something, the draw that brings them over to your campaign that you offer over there, that they need to go over there and click on that link and go over there right now, because it is embedded in all the feeds. It's very simple to get to. So go ahead and let them know why they need to go ahead and click on that and get over there and check out your campaign that's going on right now on Kickstarter.
I can give you 100 reasons why you should do this, because you're hurting yourself if you don't do it. You're denying yourself when you do that. No, but the reality of it is, there's a couple things I can say about that. The first one being that for you guys, because you guys come first, you are backing a comic that you're going to enjoy, that was put in with actual passion and love. This was not pumped out in an office somewhere to make a couple bucks. I have this thing, and I kind of look at Dave Grohl as an experience, because when Dave Grohl got famous, I guess one of his interviews, he said, like, oh, I have all this money now. I can afford a bigger grill, was his first thought. But, well, it's pretty simplistic. But for me, it's like, well, if a campaign goes really well and we do really big, my first thought isn't all this money. My first thought is I can make more comics. I can tell more stories. I can find more ways to make people happy, because that's what our campaigns are about, is making comics that help you guys out. I don't care if it's a story of a character you can relate to maybe help you get out of some bad stuff you're going through. We've all been there, I understand. Or maybe you just want to see some sexy ladies or cute guys. I don't care. I want to make you guys happy. And I think if you look at our record, you will see that I've always done that, and we have kept every one of our promises. One of our selling points is that we have the absolute best backer service on Kickstarter, hands down. I don't give a fluff what anybody else says. Our campaign, we always take care of our backers. Send us a message, we'll help you out if we can, if it's within reason. There's one good reason. Another good reason is if you like stories like Promised Neverland or Hunger Games, maybe even a little bit of Berserk, you're going to love Pure Intent. You're going to enjoy that dark, brutal story where kids have to overcome things. Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, another really good example of that, where that story, like, kids get it in that show, like, hard. Like, I mean, like, somebody walks through with kids and, like, machine guns them. Like, oh my God, the kids get it. This is brutal. If you like those kind of stories, that's for you, man. But if you also prefer things that are more lighthearted and you just want to see a sexy naked fox girl and her friends have naughty antics, or maybe even you've had some financial trouble handling your own money in your life, and you want you don't want to read a whole, like, let's budget for dummies, or have to read a whole book. You have a 12-page book that will take you maybe 5 minutes to actually go through, with some pretty good advice I ran by my own accountant to see, like, hey, is this good advice, or am I hurting people? And no, it seems like it's something that I personally do, and I hope it helps people out. So there's good reasons right there. Like Mr. Dube over there said, sexy comic stories is a good reason. If you like sexy comics and good stories, will help you out. The best accolade I've ever heard from backers is, I won't say anybody's name, but I'm similar to some other creators, except that my sexy content has good writing. That's them saying it, not me. I can't judge that, because how do you tell yourself you have good writing? That feels like the most narcissistic thing I could possibly say. So I'm not saying that.
Right.
Though there are times I go back and read a book that I've done. So I write a script. It might be like 6 months before the artist can get to it. I'll go back and look at the page, going, hey, that's really funny and cool. Oh, wait, I wrote that. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I forgot. Because it's been so long, I've kind of forgotten panel by panel what happens. Thank you, Jason. The artists we have are amazing. If you like good artwork, this is definitely a good one. We are hoping to do in the future, probably won't be this year, Mitsu Blinger, who is one of my lead artists. She's the lead artist of Suck You Busted. We are hoping to do an art book for her in the near future that will have a bunch of her sketches and artwork and stuff that she's done, and all of her covers will be in it. So it'll be a full cover book on top of the art book. We're hoping to do that in the future for her. So stay tuned. And there's I think we're planned out for the next like 3+ years. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like an awesome ride. Just ready to do it. Jump on there and see what Astral Ticket has for right now, and then keep an eye on what they've got going on in the future, because it sounds like he's just tuning the band right now. He's just getting into tune on this one. This hasn't even started yet. So, and he said, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come on and talk to us about this. This is amazing. John,
Absolutely.
I appreciate you being here and asking questions and being, representative out there in the audience as well. And Jason is asking, when will we see a Sucky Busted Shadow Hunters crossover? Now, I want to know that one as well.
So I might could do crossover covers. I don't do crossover stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a fact there's one or two other creators who actively hate me because of this, but please hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't write or create with anyone else. Azumi is a rare exception because I've known her for about 12 years.
Right.
And the reason for that is I went to college, and college says, hey, we know you want to pass this class and you want to keep your dean's list accolades. Here's 4 complete idiots who don't. So now we're going to put them in a group with you. And now this 200-page thesis you have to write over the semester, 197 of those pages are written by you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm used to that. And I don't want to be in a situation with a fellow creator who has a different mind than myself. I'm not saying they're wrong, different mind. And I don't want to have to tell them, no, that won't work.
Right.
Or I don't like that. And I do not feel qualified to say that. So I don't want to put myself in that situation. So I don't write or create with anybody else. The only exception to that is Azumi, because she, my community service manager, my personal mascot, and I've known her for so long. I do want to say one very important thing, though. I neglected to say earlier. This, and I'm going to try not to cry saying this. This is hard, so I apologize in advance. This campaign is dedicated to
yes,
Kitsune Windsor, who was a very dear friend of mine. And this goes with what I was just saying. She is the only person I've ever known I have given permission to put one of my characters in her books. And it was Alice from Primisi, who's super dear to my heart. And I had permission from her to use her characters. She had muscular dystrophy, and she lost her battle with muscular dystrophy this year. So I'm dedicating this campaign to her. Everyone who backs this campaign will get a memory piece for her. And because she gave me permission for 2 of her characters, when that Manticore series shows up, those characters will show up as side characters to come in and go, because I want to keep her memory alive and do her respect.
yes.
So I appreciate everyone that knew her and supported her stuff. She created the Foxy and Wolfie series, which was a really fun family-oriented series. Like all ages could read it.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't like me, where she did the naughty stuff. She was cleaner. And when I was still scratching in a page, calling it a script, she'd already had books published. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to. This is probably every campaign I do. She's going to be dedicated to her, because I wouldn't be where I am without her. I love you, Kitsu. I miss you. So just want to say that.
No, that is awesome, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't know how to ask that in a question, because I knew that was going to be a very emotional.
Yeah, it's rough.
Because it did hit a lot of us out here. I mean, I had her on a list to get her on
Thank you, Jason.
the show, and I wasn't able to do so. The timing just didn't work out on there. And then whenever I heard that she passed, it was like I missed an opportunity to get to know a great person, because I'm hearing all these people talk about, all the positive that she had done while she was here. So I appreciate you being on here and talking about her and keeping her memory alive as well.
Always. And I'm looking forward to the Manticore, just to have those characters there for her.
Yes.
Life is not fair. There's just a general consensus there. Life's not fair. She had muscular dystrophy. Life just dealt her a terrible card, and her response was to still fight through that and create things for people to enjoy. And if I can do anything like that for people, I think I've honored her memory, and I think I've done my job as a creator and my duty to every one of you who backs my books.
Yes, absolutely. So everyone needs to get over there to the link. Like I said, it's embedded in the feeds. Go check it out. Go see what's available over there. Get those shares going, and make sure that you keep the memory of a great creator who was passed, that you can kind of keep that alive in your collection as well, and in others by sharing out and giving them the chance to have it. And by going ahead and making sure that people like Isaac go ahead and continue on in their journey in creating comics, creating this path that they're on for everyone else to follow along. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm full on into this thing personally. I'm hoping everyone else is as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone else along this path, and hopefully see y'all on the list as we go along, and be one of those big stacks that he shows off later on, showing he got all the books in. He's got to send them out, and it takes him, a few months to send them out because there's so many of them.
Yeah, I don't have this giant staff. Like I mentioned Mr. Polito a lot. He has a full-time staff to help him do this stuff. But his net worth is also about 50 times my own, and he can afford to do that. If you guys want faster shipping, it's simple. Just give me more money, then I can afford to hire help. It's that simple. No, what happened? So what has happened as far as shipping and stuff goes, and I'm happy to address that, is COVID has impacted, and it still is impacting, global paper short
Yes.
paper supplies,
Yes, it
which
is.
means that printing books now takes about 2 to 3 times, and I mean 2 to 3 extra months to make the
Mhm.
books physically at a printing facility than it has previously. So what I do is the campaign ends, we launch a backer kit so you can pick up things you may have missed or other people can come in and grab stuff. And I don't order anything until those orders are done and that money is collected because that's how I afford to make the prints and the orders. And that tells me how many numbers of everything to order. I don't order a lot of extras. That's just pretty much what we need at the time. So that happens. The books come to me, and then Benedita and I begin packing and shipping. And it's 2 people. Historically, it's just myself doing hundreds. In this case, Lucky Buster 2 is about 700 individually customized packages. I'm not complaining. I am very thankful for this. I really appreciate the opportunity to do this. And every time I pack, I wish I shouldn't start recording when I pack books because I'll read the name and I'll read the name. So I'll say like Demon Phil like this. Thank you, Phil, sir. And then I'll pack the books. And that's just how I do it. I'm so grateful for you guys. And
Mhm.
it does take a little while. And I apologize it takes as long as it does. But everyone's always invited to reach out and message on Kickstarter or in the Discord and just say, hey, can I ask where my order's at? And I will tell you. And if it's shipped, I will give you the tracking number if you want it. We had a customer one time. It made me mad at the time. And this is why I remember it so well. He's like, I didn't get my books, ... again. A public comment. I'm like, why are you saying this? This makes me look bad.
Uh-huh.
So Brooke calls me about it. I said, all right, cool. We'll look it up. We look it up. We replied back and we sent the guy a DM with the tracking numbers. We don't want to give that publicly because you can use it to find someone's address. So we respect your privacy. We replied to the guy back, hey, at May 12th at 4:01 p.m., USPS says they dropped this package off at your house. I'm so angry. I remember the date and time. And the next comment the guy has, it goes, oh, you know what? You guys are totally right. I got it mixed up with some other stuff from a convention. Sorry, guys. Thank you. Perfect. That is how we
Mhm.
handle business. This
Yes.
wasn't the nicest comment in the universe, but we still went out of our way to make sure this guy proved we did our jobs and we made him happy. At the end of the day, he ended that day with a smile, and that is what I promise my backers.
There you go. You can't go wrong with that. And I'm telling you right now, everyone needs to go check it out. Jason's in the process of checking it out as we speak. Said he's on it now. Hard to choose. So many cool covers. I agree with you, Jason. There's so
Yeah, there's
much
some really nice
content
ones.
available.
It's
Um,
not one of the most popular ones, and I know why, because it's not bodacious. But I
mhm.
love the Spy X family cosplay cover because I'm like, I don't care.
Yes.
Part of this is I want to fight the image of like, oh, you just do nudie books. No, this is a cover with children on it that are cosplaying an anime, and I think it's adorable and it's fun. And the male character who's 19 years old is in the leading female role's outfit. It's like, what the hell am I wearing? I like stuff like that. And maybe it isn't the most popular thing in the world, sure, but the point is that we do have something for everybody in that category.
Yes.
Like it doesn't have to just be scantily clad ladies or cute boys. We can have some more wholesome fun along the way, and I like that too.
Exactly. Exactly. Well,
We also
Isaac,
have some
go
amazing
ahead.
covers that are included. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Yes. No, no, you're good. You're
Mitsu
good.
Blinger, the cover she did this time of Benedita, because it's the Year of the Rabbit, I asked her to do a little extra for Benny this year. That cover is absolutely, I'm putting that poster on my wall of that cover. She did such a good job. I love that Benny is a little chubbier girl,
Hmm.
which I myself like. So I love Benny. She has like, to me, she's like perfect. And I love that Mitsu drew the bunnies that are around her are also little chonky bunnies. I'm like, that's
Hmm.
adorable. The bunnies
Yes.
themselves are actually little chonkers. Oh, that's so cute. And that cover is also amazing. She turned into a psychopathic murderer and killed that cover. And it looks amazing. Other than that, there's so many on there that are really good. I'm happy with Benedita's debut cover with the bunny holding a sign that says Big Buns as a double entendre for Big Bunny plus Big Butt. So I'm having fun with that. It's I don't know if it's narcissistic or dumb to look at these covers and be like, that's really funny. I still love it, and just it brightened my own day. Thank you,
Yes.
Jason, very much, sir. I really appreciate you. You're a great
Yes.
man.
Yes. Thank you very much. Now, on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up for tonight. I'm actually getting some storms that are rolling in. It got me a little frozen
Oh
there for just a
no.
moment. Um, But we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. But y'all need to get over there, click on that link, go check out the campaign, see what's going on, and don't blink because Astral Ticket is coming at you with all kinds of stuff. This is only the beginning of getting out there and getting some stuff going.
This
So
is
get
our true
ready
year
because
one, man.
exactly this is where you start on really getting your name out there, really getting things going. and you're hitting the ground running with this campaign starting off, do not miss out on this, people. Y'all definitely want to get on there. Isaac, thank you again for being on here. It's been an honor having you back on the show, and I look forward to having you back on in the very near future as well.
Absolutely. If I could say one last thing, it's that I will be at Bold City Con in Jacksonville next weekend.
Yes.
The what is it, the 15th and the 16th? I don't know. I'm terrible with dates. Yeah, 15th, 16th. We'll be there. So if you guys want to grab some books, come by and say hi, art prints and that kind of stuff. I also will have some Succubusted #2 copies there, and the reason for that is because every time anyone who's ever ordered comics on mass production knows this. Looking forward to it, Jason. You get a couple that were banged up for whatever reason. Well, I can't give those to my backers. That'd be messed up. But I can offer them at conventions. So I'll have a couple of those heavily discounted, slightly damaged cover copies at that event. So you guys can get Succubus #2 if you're there.
Exactly. And John, you as well. I wanted to say that before we head out of here. But again, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And we have managed to go ahead and get the voice of the indies out there yet once again. And I am enjoying this greatly. So until next time, be looking forward to having you back on, Isaac. But I love
We'll be here.
The shows. Stay positive out there and always keep it indie, y'all.
Thank you, guys.